Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's weather outlook for the southern region, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, as we alluded to in our early Monday morning video, we knew that things were going to be quite active this week. We're watching two major systems develop, and we're looking here at the all hazards weather map valid on Tuesday morning. Now, the things we're going to be discussing in this video, we're going to kind of move from the east to the west. First thing we're going to talk about is the winter storm warning that's in for this area. We're talking about sleet, snow, and ice ahead of this system, but it'll be a quick hitter warming up immediately following. Two areas that I'm really going to be watching carefully: major flooding threat in through here and severe weather threat over the weekend to the south of it. And with the first system that emerges here out of the Four Corner states, dumping a lot of snow at the higher elevations, this low pressure system will quickly race to the northeast, bringing us this winter storm issue right here through parts of Texas and Oklahoma. We will see a lot of thunderstorm activity across the Gulf states here for the rest of the week, but most of that will be non-severe until the weekend. And once we get to the weekend, remember, it is this area in through here that I'm watching very carefully. So that's your quick overview where we're going to be talking about. The setup is pretty simple. We've got this interesting split flow feature that's happening out in the Pacific Ocean. So we have a southern branch to the jet stream and a northern, and they're coming together inside of this deep trough. Now, the jet streak that's associated with it right here is in a perfect position to create a lot of active weather east of the Rocky Mountains, especially across the southern states. And one of the main things that's going to make this so active is that we're going to be pumping out a lot of Gulf moisture, destabilizing the atmosphere here quite a bit. But because of the trajectory, most of our systems are lifting northeast quickly rather than digging toward the southeast, which means the winter precipitation you're going to see in the next few moments will be just here for a day, and then a warm-up will happen immediately following it. So let's take a look at our high-resolution NAM model, get the timing of this. First system comes out of here in parts of the Four Corner states, and then kind of ejects and goes off into this direction. Now, out ahead of it, like I said, a lot of thunderstorm activity here to the south, but watch for the transition to the north over to sleet, freezing rain, into snow into this area, and then we're going to keep a close eye on the mid-Atlantic here in a few moments. So here we go. This starts us off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Let's get you all the way through the day on Tuesday to see how this system evolves. Now, as it comes out of the central plains, they're really out of parts of Texas and Oklahoma. You remember Oklahoma had that winter storm advisory that kind of split the state just like this. And that's because we think it's going to be warm enough on the southeast side of that line for mostly rain, get a mix there in the middle part of the state, and then snow on the northern side. Maybe a quick hitting 1 to 4 inches of snow. Rain spreading out ahead of this, but watch as this system transitions to the north. You see it kind of flipping over to snow there as we get into parts of northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, and then spreading heavy rains across parts of Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, with widely scattered showers to the south. It's a snow event and an ice event for the Ohio River Valley, but look at what happens once we get into the early morning hours on Wednesday. You see we have a dominant area of higher atmospheric pressure here, and cold air is snaking down alongside the eastern side of the Appalachian Mountains. So we're going to get what we call a cold air damming event. And that means you're going to be seeing in through this area a mixture of sleet, freezing rain, and snow due to the cold surface temperatures, but warmer air coming over the top of this aloft. It's going to be mostly a snow event further to the north. But remember, this is going to be a quick hitting event on Wednesday because watch, the system pulls north. This is early morning Wednesday hours. That's going to be our trouble time for the ice, sleet, and snow. But as I get you through the rest of the day, see the system pulls north by evening. We've got enough warm air in there that this is going to switch over all to rain. So it's going to be just a headache mainly for Wednesday morning and then a slushy mess after that. Meanwhile, that front sags to the south, bringing in more showers and storms as we get through the day on Wednesday. Okay, in terms of total amount of snowfall for the mid-Atlantic storm system, I've got the European model on the left, and I got the NAM, high-resolution NAM, on the right, and they're both in agreement. Now remember, we're using a 10-to-1 ratio, so when you look in here and see about 3 to 4 inches, remember we're mixing in some sleet and freezing rain into that as well. Heavier snowfall amounts may be getting up into the 4 to 7 inch range as we get into parts of Maryland and Pennsylvania. So this is kind of system number 1, but like I said, look at the warm-up that happens on Thursday. We got 40s here, 50s there, and 60s here behind this system coming through. So it's very quick in its winter weather problems. Same thing with Oklahoma. Look, by the time we get into Wednesday afternoon, we're already up in the 40s, low 50s. By the time we get into Thursday afternoon, we're back up in the low to mid 50s. So like I said, this system as it comes through bringing down that winter weather is a quick hitter for Oklahoma on Tuesday and a quick hitter for the eastern coast, really in the mid-Atlantic on Wednesday. All right, second threat, flooding. We just saw between 3/4 of an inch and 1.5 inches plus across this region. And the problem is, watch where we're going over the next 7 days from our high-resolution European model. You've already seen this system. This is a system we just talked about in detail. Let's get that one passed. Now, look, Thursday afternoon, widespread showers and thunderstorms from Texas all the way over to North Carolina. Next system comes out of the Rocky Mountains. Look at it, Four Corners system. Out ahead of it, we are just pumping in the moisture. This is what I told you, coming out just like this. Now, the problem is, as we get through the day on Friday into Saturday, this region is going to have a destabilization of the atmosphere. So we're going to be seeing the atmosphere really cooling aloft, warming up at the surface. And that, combined with the abundant moisture, is going to give us the threat as this next system emerges. Look at this sucker. By the time it gets there into parts of Missouri, we have got a major potential here for some strong to severe storms. We have to analyze that and figure this one out. Before I tell you that, watch, this system wraps up, goes to the Great Lakes. Remember, all these systems are lifting. And then look at this. Next Tuesday into Wednesday, another system reloads. The pattern's not breaking down. So our major flood threat through the next 7 days is in through here. Widespread 1 to 3 inches with some locations possibly in here around getting close to Memphis, but certainly parts of Kentucky, Arkansas, northern Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. We're talking about possibility here of 3, 4, or 5 inches of rainfall. So this is going to be a soaker. We're adding that rain to a region that's already had 5 to 8 inches of surplus in the last 30 days. So I'm quite concerned about the major flooding threat there on the Ohio River Valley, the Tennessee Valley, getting into the lower Mississippi River. Now, when we look out to Saturday, SPC's already identified a region here where they're watching closely. They're going to get a great update of this late in the day on Tuesday, which we'll include in our next videos. But what I want you to watch down here is this is an animation of what we call convective available potential energy. Now, a lot of scattered thunderstorms throughout the week on this energy along the Gulf Coast, but it's Saturday afternoon, evening, right in through here, where we start to see that instability push up into a far enough to the north region that we're going to be seeing widespread destabilization of the atmosphere. My concern is as it destabilizes, the winds aloft are coming pretty strongly out of the west-southwest like this. The winds about a mile above our heads are southwest and also screaming. We call this a low-level jet. And the front will be right here, and the surface winds out ahead of it will be coming from the south. So look at our wind shear. Surface winds like this. Winds a mile above our heads screaming like that, and then, you know, in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, they're almost coming just like this, much faster. That is a lot of wind shear, and what that means to me is we might be seeing some discrete supercells out ahead of the main line of thunderstorms, but I imagine that this one will line up very quickly. This could be our first decent severe weather outbreak of 2019, so we're going to watch it carefully. Now, the pattern that got us here is not breaking down. Look at the reloading trough we see out west as we work through the end of February and get ourselves into March. And what's dominating the flow right now is this kind of semi-permanent ridge feature we see over Alaska. And if that's there, the flow has to do something like this. That keeps much of the far southeast warm, but kind of a trough feature that kind of at times changes angle like this is going to keep the middle part of the country active with severe weather, which drags fronts through the south. And it's also going to keep us locked into some cooler weather. This is what I'm talking about. Here's every 6 hours for the next 15 days looking at temperature anomalies. You can see about the only region that kind of hangs onto the warm bias for most of that time is going to be to the south and east of that line. Cold air routinely making returns for this time of year, colder than average, making return here out of the north central plains and out of the kind of out of the northwest. So this is active. I'm glad we're giving you another update that'll come out early Thursday morning, and also another one that'll come out Friday morning, so you can keep aware of what is going on here, because we have no shortage of interesting weather at this point in the season. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this forecast video. We at Nutrien Ag Solutions hope you look forward to our next Southern Region forecast coming out soon. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you then. Thank you.